Well, listeners and the viewers of Voice of Indonesia here today in our studio, we have a very interesting guest from Mexico. Let me introduce first. We have here His Excellency Cepi T. Wartono, the Indonesian ambassador to Mexico. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for
And
inviting us here.
thank you. And we also have Dr. Marlene Marroquin. Correct me if I'm.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good. Marlene Marroquin. She is the Executive Regional Director, U.S. Mexico Chamber of Commerce.
Correct. Thank you very much.
How are you, madam?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having us here.
How long have you been here in Jakarta?
We arrived Sunday, so
Sunday.
5 days already.
It's already Friday, almost a week.
That's right.
How do you find Jakarta?
I'm moving here. I'm moving to Jakarta, to Indonesia.
Okay,
I'm
so
moving to Bali, especially.
moving to Bali. So you plan to visit Bali?
We visited Bali
Uh-huh.
when we first arrived to rest a little from the flight and then start our activities here.
One word for Bali. What do you say?
Paradise.
One word? Paradise. Wow. Okay. Pak Cepi, you are here today in Jakarta to attend the TEA. What is it? The biggest international trade expo in
Yes.
Indonesia, managed or organized by the Indonesian trade ministry. So, how do you find the interest of Mexican business people to this expo?
Well, this is my third times bring a lot of Mexican companies. Well, last year we brought about maybe 10 companies. Now under Miss Marlene, she brought 21. And beside her, we invite another association, but unfortunately, they got a problem with the COVID, and some of them, one association from Guatemala is also got a problem because there is a protest in Guatemala, so they couldn't fly here. And now we are coming here with a 28. So the response of the Mexican business people to see the trade expo was really good because this is back to back with the INALAX, Indonesian Latin American Business Forum, which is organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So Marlene also with her delegation, we went also to attend the INALAX, and then continue with the trade expo, and the response is really really good, and we hope that they will have a more trade between Indonesia and Mexico in the futures.
So, 28 companies with diverse products. So, how many business to business or B2B deals you expected will be signed here during this TEA?
Well, it's a little bit difficult to answer that. We don't know. I think a lot of the companies are going to. They're meeting right now with some B2Bs at the International Trade Fair. When we go back to the United States and to Mexico, one of the things that we highly recommend our companies is to follow up, to set up calls, video calls with the companies here, so they can really complete their trade, their services, because it's very easy to come to a fair, to a trade fair, but it's overwhelming to see the many different options. But I think once you select which companies you think you're going to do business with, the follow-up is the most important thing to secure, the success of their trip. So we, as a chamber, we help those companies set up some very personalized meetings with the Indonesian companies to make sure that they has continued the dialogue. And they will be able to close some deals.
Okay, so from the Indonesian side, Pak Cepi, I got the data for today, the first day of this TAI, that there has been $4.9 million US dollars deal for the first day today.
Okay.
So, what do you, as the one who brings this our friends from Mexico to this expo, how much do you expect it?
Well, I would like to say like this. There is some company they are already connected each others.
See.
So some of them they're showing their product, so they would like to recheck again the product are good or not. Hopefully it's gonna be $1 million, but no more than 10 million. I mean double digit. But it's gonna be well, I predict is around $1 to $2 million. Besides Marlin bring the companies, because under the Marlins there is 21 companies under USMCOC. But we also bring by our own by embassy and the ITPC. There is 8 companies. So these 7 and 8 companies, they are already connect each other. So they just renew their order again with the companies here in Jakarta, and they are also looking for the opportunity for other products. So hopefully could be 1-2 million. So yes, I do not expect too much because some of them like Marlin, what Marlin bring so far, what Marlin brought now the companies, they are more like searchings to find the resources. Well, there because there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of products. So that's what Marlin said is diverse of the products. So I think it's gonna be hard for them to decide it now. They're looking first. They find out which one is good, and they compare each other. Yeah. Hopefully they can make a deals, but I do not expect too much because this is her first time. But hopefully for the next trip, yeah, maybe she knows already the environment, the situation, the condition of the trade expo itself, and then it could be more prepared.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe they can do it to do the communication with the participant before they came here.
Okay.
They come.
So,
Yeah.
what sort of products say that has good opportunity besides what you have already mentioned before?
I understand the automotive sector. It's a very important sector to do
Yeah.
business with Mexico. The medical industry, there is a lot also to explore in Indonesia with Mexico. I think that sector is a very important. Of course, the rubber, the plastic sectors, those are mainly one of the most important sectors that Mexico is interested. Of course, the textiles. Textile is something that is very well known in Indonesia. I think that could also be a very interesting market to explore. Yeah, I think those will be the main ones.
Okay, good. So, if in 2019 to 2023 there has been an increase in trade between the two countries for about 33% year on year.
Yes.
Correct me if
Yes.
I'm mistaken on this. So, how do you see this trend for the coming years? Since we see the global situation, right? What is happening in Europe? What is happening in the Middle East? So, Dr. Marlin.
Thank you very much. By no means we desire that any economy does bad. We want all the economies to succeed. But the current situation in China right now, it has brought some opportunities for Mexican companies to look into other Asian companies. One of them certainly, it's Indonesia. Last night we had a meeting with Ambassador Chepi Huertono, and we were discussing that there is a lack of information of what Indonesia has to offer, same as what Mexico has to offer for Indonesia, that we need to open the conversation among our countries to inform the many different opportunities there are, the many different partnerships that we can do, how we can work in a more global context. We can depend on each other in so many products where you can buy some part in Indonesia, manufacture it, a part of Mexico, sell it to the United States or different parts of Asia. So it's like a joint effort. It's like baking the cake. So we have the flour,
Yeah.
the eggs, the milk from different parts, including, of course, Mexico, Indonesia, and then we bake a delicious cake. That this cake can be sold to different parts of the world. I think that's something that we can definitely work together on doing that. So I think our countries need to promote more the international trade, the international side. This is something that it's very much on the agenda for the U.S.-Mexico Chamber of Commerce in California, is to explore international markets. So I think that's the future of the world.
Yes. But Chepi, the same question.
Yeah.
33%.
Yes. Since I arrived in Mexico, our trade relation at that time was below $1 billion US. Now it's close to $3 billion. The trade transaction between Indonesia and Mexico. It means Indonesia now, Mexican entrepreneur now, they see there is a lot of a potential supplier from Indonesia. Before, they don't know nothing about Indonesia, and then we promote a lot. I went to visit many states in Mexico, so we promote a lot of Indonesian product, and now they are realized that in part of Asia there is in Indonesia who are good product and competitive prices. Well, this is a good for them, so they have a more different products and also the different prices. With the good prices, some of products, there are no more import from China. They goes to Indonesia. This kind of that's happened now with Indonesia and Mexico. And the other thing that I would like to say, Indonesia now see as Mexico as a non-traditional market. Now they see that we can bring more product to U.S. through Mexico.
Okay.
So because some Mexicans, they buy a lot of product from U.S., which is this product came from Indonesia, like furnitures, for examples. They buy 2 times more the price. So now they're looking from Indonesia. This kind of we can solve this problem now. So a lot of Mexicans, they open their eyes to see Indonesia as a new partners, even though we are still behind the other Asian countries, but we are growing very fast for the last 4 years. Yeah.
If I may add something, I would like to say that this is my second time I'm in Indonesia, but I'm truly impressed, number one, with the professional team that Ambassador Chepi Guartono offers to the Mexican U.S. companies. I really want to say, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, that we had a call a few weeks ago with the delegation from Mexico, and prior to coming here, he coordinated a call with all of us and telling us, welcome to Indonesia, what can I do to help you? I've never seen this happening in my 20-something years that I've been a director for the chamber, where such a high-ranking government official has taken the time to dialogue with a prior delegation coming. So that speaks volumes of the government, of the commitment, of the promotion that they have for this country. It's remarkable what they're doing. And also, I very ignorantly, and I sincerely apologize for this, I didn't think Indonesia was such an amazing, beautiful country. When I first arrived, I was like, oh, this is so beautiful, so developed, so clean. I was just chatting with Mr. Batang here that the streets are so clean, so beautiful, so developed. So this is an amazing country.
Amazing country.
Truly.
So that's why you will come again.
Many more times.
She will come again next year with bring more people,
Yeah.
more companies.
We're already talking about that.
Yeah. There should be double from 28.
Exactly.
Yes, of course.
Exactly.
Okay, still, Pak JP, how, as Dr. Merlin said, that there is lack information of Mexican products or about Mexicans for Indonesians. So how the Indonesian embassy in Mexico, I mean, brings this information, this valuable information to Indonesian business people, to the Indonesian investors to come to Mexico. So, what efforts has been made?
Well, it's really hard actually to convince the Indonesian entrepreneurs to come to Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yes, but the other vice versa. I mean, also Mexican business people. So to see Indonesia, it's not easy to convince them. First, because first a Mexican trading partner is U.S. I mean, there's all Mexican business people. They see U.S. as a partner. I mean, as a first trading partner. So it's not easy to bring them to see Asia as a new partner. You know, even though with Korea, Japan, South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, but I think maybe last 10 years, last 5, 7 years, we started with China. Well, if we compare with all the Asia countries, it's not only ASEAN, China is more aggressive. That's the reason why a lot of Mexican, they see Asia is a new partner. That's the one obstacle that we have. Second things, I would like to say, to convince Indonesians, because Indonesia, a traditional partner is all China and US.
Yes.
So why should they go to Mexico? And after I convince them, after I promo, I give it them information about Mexico, and then they think about to come to Mexico. And last month, I mean no, well, August, beginning of August, I organized Expo Indonesia. So we invite 50 companies from Indonesia to show their product, and it was really good. And we had actually close to 50 million transaction, US dollars transaction. That's the first time we have a single expo. I mean, Indonesian single expo in Mexico. And the third obstacle that we have actually is language, because a lot of Mexicans, they are not speak very good in English. In Indonesia, it's vice versa. Indonesia doesn't. I mean, Spanish is now common in Indonesia as well. That's also the obstacle that we have. So that's three problems that we have so far. And last but not least, we don't have any agreement with Mexico. So we don't have any PTA. We don't have free trade agreement or whatever the agreement is. We don't have any. Yes, or even CIPA. So we don't have any agreement. That's also the obstacle. So we have to compete our price with the tariff that Mexico give it to us. Especially, for example, coffee. Oh, Mexico give very high tariff for Indonesian product. I mean, for coffee products, not only from Indonesia. Close to 45%. Can you imagine how can they sell the product?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the reason why a lot of company from Indonesia, they go to US first, because the US just give only 5% tariff and then bring to from US to Mexico, because Mexico, they have USMCA, US, Mexico, Canada, like NAFTA before, now they call USMCA. So we use that kind of agreement, that what they already have, this agreement. Well, yeah, Mexico it's not easy to convince Mexico to have a trade agreement with Indonesia. Not only with Indonesia, I think with all Asia companies, with ASEAN countries. Not even with China, they don't have a trade agreement. Only with Japan, if I'm not wrong, but it was joined in a multilateral agreement like a CPTPP. Vietnam was joined there. Malaysia, they are waiting for ratification, and the other one is Brunei. So the three companies, I mean the three countries from Asia, they are joined in the multilaterals. Even South Korea now requesting for the trade agreement.
Yes. Okay.
Can you imagine? South Korea invest more than 50 billion in Mexico.
Mexico, yes.
But Mexico doesn't want to open the trade agreement with South Korea. They are very close. I really don't know why.
Okay. So before we come to the end of this interview, Dr. Merlin, Ambassador Chappie said that it is quite difficult to convince. So what is wrong with this? Is it a kind of culture or what?
Well, I think that traditionally Mexico has seen the trading partner with our neighbor, the United States or Canada, because it's part of the USMCA, or before we used to call it the NAFTA trade agreement. I believe that most Mexican companies, they see their natural trading partner, Mexico, they only see that. That's one of the things that we're trying to convince, that there is many more opportunities besides the United States, that it is the closest, but it's not necessarily the easiest.
Yeah.
They might be further, like in this case, partners, but maybe the process to do business, it's easier in some cases, right? So I believe that also depends on the administration that Mexico holds, depending on the vision that they have, if they have an international vision or a very local vision. So I hope that in the future years that the next administration will have a more international trade and vision, that they can really promote that opening opportunities.
Yes, so closest is better. Okay, so don't say ASEAN. Indonesia is 280 million people. This is a good market actually, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, but yes, it is the task for Pak Cepi and also you, Ms. Marlene, to change this perception, this view.
Yes.
Okay, my producer already told me that we come to the end of this conversation, this interview, but for a closing statement, Pak Cepi.
Yes, my close statement, I would like to say to the people of Mexico who are, not Mexico, also Indonesian entrepreneurs, come visit in Mexico. There is a lot of opportunity that we can do with Mexico in any kind of products. You name it, food and beverage, furnitures, home decor, everything. They are very open because a Mexican, I would like to say Mexican, more open-minded economic transaction. I mean, they are international people.
Yes.
You know, they are related with most international countries, not only with US, but also with Europe. So I invite more Indonesian companies to come and visit Mexico to promote their products. So in Indonesian embassy in Mexico, we are going to facilitate them to promote their product in Mexico.
Yes.
I would like to say that I would like to continue the agenda of definitely international trade and promotion. Indonesia will be on top of our agenda. And I want to invite Mexican, US, Indonesian, and worldwide companies to travel, to see what's out there. Once you travel and you experience the beauty of the cultures around the world, you're changed forever. You will never be the same person again. You learn that we have one humankind, one race, and that there is so many great opportunities to help each other. So that will be my closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Marlene Marquin, and also Pak Ambassador Cepi. Hope that what we are talking here today in his studio will bring this very informative information, especially for the Mexican business people and also the Indonesian business people, to make the two countries trade balance increasing from 33%, and then the business people coming here more than, or could be double, from 28 companies.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
A pleasure
Thank
to
you
be
very
here.
much.
Well, listeners and viewers of Voice of Indonesia, that was my very interesting conversation and interview with His Excellency Indonesian Ambassador to Mexico, Bapak Wartono, CP Wartono, and also Dr. Martin Marquin. I'm Daulat Pane. See you next time.